This is the 5th year of the Professional Bowlers Tour stop here in Erie, Pennsylvania, and for the 5th straight year, Walter Ray Williams Jr. has made it to the TV finals. He's standing by now live with our own Brian Duffy. Duff?
John, it is hard to believe 5 years in a row for Walter Ray Williams. 5 flagship city opens, now the Splitfire Sparkplug Open, and 5 television finals for Walter Ray Williams. You sort of own this town, don't you, Walter Ray?
I wouldn't say I own it, but I like it.
How do you like these lanes so far? You got a little chance to get out here. You, of course, very well aware of the arena-type setting here last year. How are these lanes comparing to what you've seen at Eastway this past week, and compare them to last year's?
Well, the lane condition seems pretty similar. The difference is the approaches. They're really slippery. So they've been wet toweling over at Eastway, and I'll probably do that tomorrow here, so they probably won't be quite as slick, but that could make them a little bit touchy. If that's the case, I might have to slow my speed down, so I'm doing right now, getting a lot more hook in the ball, and I've got a good reaction doing that, so if it does come to that, I think I'll be all right, but I'd probably rather play my down and in shot, which I was doing at Eastway most of the time.
You made a big run in qualifying in the match play, in the last block, into the second to last block. What was the key for you there? You really came from about 15th or 16th place and just drove your way through about 10, 12 guys.
Well, I just kept plugging along. My first round was my really only bad round I had at the tournament. Every round after that was pretty decent, and I just kept getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. And then tonight, I had a big first game, shot 289, that put me right up there. And in the next 2 games, I was in 5th place. And then, unfortunately, I bowled 2 bad games after that and dropped down to 8th again. And then I worked my way back up with 2 230s and put myself back into 5th place with the position round. And I needed a big game because it was so close. Shot at 250 and snuck into the top 5 again.
Yeah, I know you went about, I think, 6 or 7 frames in that final game, looking for that 300 game, so you were well on your way. Talk a little bit about your first match tomorrow. Mike Edwards and you hooking up did about 305 here at the Erie Civic Center. Should be a great match. Mike is bowling fantastic.
Oh, Mike bowled great. Fortunately for me, I had the 289 against him tonight. After that, I think he won all 7 matches, so he really came on like a fire. And it should be a good match tomorrow. I think all the matches will. It's hard to believe how empty it is right now, but tomorrow everybody's going to be screaming and yelling. That's going to be great.
How tough is it for you to go from the first match to the final match and win a championship?
Well, you got to win the 3 matches just to get there. It takes quite a bit. You got to really bowl well, and you got to get a few breaks. It's something that can be done though, and I've done it before. So I'm the very first year I snuck in the back door and then ended up finishing 2nd. So it's definitely something I can do.
Okay, Walter Ray, best of luck to you tomorrow in the TV finals. Get a little more practice in.
Oh, yeah.
John, that is Walter Ray Williams. 5 tournaments here for the PBA in Erie, Pennsylvania. 5 times Walter Ray has bowled on national TV. He says he doesn't own this town, John, but it certainly seems to us that he certainly does.
All right, thank you very much, Brian Duffy, with Deadeye. Walter Ray Williams Jr., certainly a fan favorite. You know, there's going to be some changes on the Pro Bowlers Tour next year. ABC has decided to adjust its schedule, move it back later in the spring and into the summer. That could affect the Erie tournament next year. We have a report from Brian Duffy on that very subject.
There you see one of
the PBA will have a different look next year, and right now that new look is not one that is popular with the players and may have a big-time effect on the Splitfire. The Winter Tour, as we know it, is history. Starting next year, the so-called Winter Tour begins on March 23rd and runs through July 6th. And because of a conflict with the Pennsylvania State Women's Bowling Championship, the Splitfire's future is very much in doubt.
To try and put a bowling tournament in Erie in June or July, with my experience and, you know, running a bowling center and stuff like that, it just wouldn't be worthwhile because I don't think you'd get the turnout, the excitement, excuse me, things like that. So hopefully maybe what we can do is try to negotiate something for like in the fall, for like a fall stop or maybe an early spring stop, which might be on ESPN, but it looks like as of right now, we will not be doing a PBA stop with ABC next year.
ABC will still televise the March to July tour for at least 2 more years. The PBA is negotiating with ESPN and hopes they will pick up key months January and February. But as the players concerned about the Splitfire and the tour in general is trying to attract spectators and TV viewers during the summer months.
If they push it off into the summer, I don't don't think Georgia's going to want the tournament in that time. So I'm hoping that maybe they could schedule a fall stop, which would still be during the bowling season.
I mean, we're in a situation where we don't have a whole lot of power to demand, anything. So it's unfortunate that things are different now, but we have to make the best of it. We're going to still be bowling on ABC. We're still going to be on TV.
There is still plenty of optimism for the PBA Tour and the Splitfire. Negotiations will continue, but so will the concerns.
There's a lot of concern over that, and especially in the industry. We'll be bowling for the same money and basically the same amount of tournaments, but the industry is not going to get the exposure that they've had in the past. So we'll see if they're ever going to step up to the real big step, then it's got to be now.